So, I remember the first time that I met my Sheikha Faria. Growing up the way I did, not feeling love except from spirit, and then being tortured to forget that. Having this woman come in that was the pure embodiment of divine love. I didn't realize at the time, but she was mirroring me. She was trying to remind me that I was divine love as well. It wasn't until I started doing a lot of the shadow work and I got with this little goddess of wisdom, and we initiated each other through the underworld, and fucking sucked. But it was amazing and beautiful at the same time. I had to learn to realize that I was pure love that was taught to hate myself, tortured to hate myself. And so much narcissistic programming that I had internalized was keeping me stuck, keeping me away from the very thing that I wanted. I would want people to love me, and I would love other people, but they would never love me back because I didn't realize I was emotionally unavailable. I was so used to getting hurt that I was loving people on a human level instead of the divine level with all my being. And the only way I could ever express that was making love to a woman, and being with somebody in that whole soul level way. I would actually feel that love again and remember, but I could never hold on to it because love is not physical. Love is everything. It's emotional, it's mental, it's your soul, your spirit, and your body is what falls in love, in real godly divine love. That's why when you meet somebody, when you meet the real one, it's love at first sight. You know as soon as you see them. Even if you try to run from it, hide it, you can't. Eventually, everything comes up and you have to face all your fears and realize and look and say, man, I love you. And really mean it and realize that the whole purpose of a twin flame contract is to mirror back to you what you need to see to accept in that other person. The very things that pisses you off about them, when you clear that, it's going to be the things that you love about them, because you'll love that part of yourself and stop rejecting that part of yourself. And that's what we do, is we reject a part of ourselves and we project it on other people. So when they mirror that to us, we reject it and we reject them because we're rejecting that part of ourselves. And we can turn that mirror onto ourselves, and we can meditate, and we get in quiet, and we can feel everything and learn to be the calm that's in the center of that raging storm. That's what the masculine is. That's what the order is. It's that pillar of confidence that stands in the middle, the king, unfazed by any of the bullshit around them, the little wannabe tough people, little barking puppies that think they're big dogs. It's like, well, the big dog's real here. We don't play little puppy shit. You get these paradigms of people really awaken to the fact that, oh shit, we are fucking source. We are connected. Everything is an extension of everything else. They've proven this with so many branches of science: biophotonics, epigenetics, quantum physics, with quantum entanglement, and the double slit experiment with photons. And it's like, dude, it's all simple, but it's been perverted and corrupted, and people have been taught to take these semantics from all these different cultures and religions that are saying the same fucking thing That God is spirit, God is love, God is unity, achad, oneness, unity, shalom, wholeness that brings the peace that surpasses all understanding, acheba, love. And love is the human expression of unity. That's what it really truly means to love, is to be one with yourself and one with others. That is pure love. But there's also the severity that comes from the king, that comes from the lawgiver. That when people come up and try to narcissistically abuse you or whatever, you have a right to have a boundary and say, hey, you know what, fuck off. I was polite, I told you I had a boundary, you didn't respect that, you still touched my hair, or you did these other things. Like, we have this disconnect between the men and the women nowadays, that a woman can come up and do something and it's considered okay, but if you do the same thing to her as a man, you're creepy. It's like, no, you just invaded my space and raped my energy. You don't get to do that. That's fucking not okay. I don't care if you're a man, woman. You don't get to violate somebody else's fucking sovereignty and personal energy. You don't come up and stand next to them and try to suck their fucking energy. You don't fucking just come in out of nowhere and fucking jump in their conversation and try to steer it towards you. That's narcissistic fucking bullshit. You know, there's a line between being graceful, loving, kind, and compassionate, and realizing that somebody needs a good slap upside the fucking head. So, you know, we are divine. We have been gifted since we were born. We didn't have to wake up. We were born awake. You know, when I was 3, we brought a freaking dead bird back to life and was tortured for it. When I got older, I don't know, 6 or something 5, I think, I freaking got mad at the one who was supposed to be my mom, who was not my mom. And things started flying around the fucking air and started pelting her with shit. I didn't know what psychokinesis was back then. I just knew I was fucking being fucking tortured and controlled, and fucking, we didn't like it. We're a sovereign being. We don't do those contracts no more. You know, if you're not coming in pure love, we don't want to deal with you. Done dealing with stupid shit. We've tolerated it long enough, been patient long enough. You know, there's a difference, you know, in harmonic convergence. When you're here, you can come down, reach that hand down, and they can bring it up, and then you vibe together up. That's what a twin flame is you're the opposites, but you are the opposites for a purpose, to initiate each other, but also to awaken yourself to the fact that there's no difference. You know, where I'm weak, my twin's strong. Or my twin is weak, I'm strong. And we cover each other like that. That's how it works. It's a symbiotic relationship that begins with us, within us. When we either clear our density and all that we had to do, and reawaken to the fact that we already are the Hierophant, we have already done the Hieroskamos in other lifetimes. We don't have to reawaken, we just have to fucking clear out the programs and shit. Don't listen to none of the bullshit in your head. There's an old saying, in the head is dead. You know, live in the heart, live through your heart. Kids don't see race, culture, anything. They don't see any of that shit. They're programmed to be different, to believe in some false paradigm where they are limited and fucking can't create their reality. It's bullshit. You know, but like I said, the twin flames are identical pieces of the same whole, and the way that it works is just like the chosen, the volunteers. Okay, chosen are just volunteers that were chosen out of the volunteers. Just meant you were more equipped for the job. doesn't make us special, doesn't make us fucking high and mighty or better than anybody. It's the difference between a CEO and a janitor. They're both necessary, but they both have different functions. This is the way a tribal society used to work. You know, they had a hunter that would hunt, and they would bring in the meat for the entire tribe. And you had the gatherers that would go and get berries and fruits and roots and all this stuff, and they would bring it to the entire tribe. And we ate and shared together. That's what it means to be a higher being. We live community. We live taking care of one another. We're only as strong as our weakest link. That's what it means to have a hokachan, the sacred hoop, whole and heal, is that every part of that is healed. Because if we are a collective, which we are, if one part of that collective is sick, we are all sick. And the whole nature of degradation, you can't feed it even a little bit, because the whole nature of it is it degrades. You take that one hit now you need 12 hits later. You take that one shot now, you need 12 shots later. And you're overdosing and going through all this fucking shit and killing your soul, killing your heart, making yourself hard and harder and harder. And it's the last thing that we want, to be hard. We're taught to be hard. We're programmed to be hard. Every single human being, according to psychology, has the basic human drives of feeling wanted, loved, needed, belonging to something greater than themselves, in service to something greater than themselves. When we live in the not self, we focus on the ego, which ego is Latin for I. Anytime we have an I frequency, we are individualizing ourselves away from everybody else. It now becomes an us versus them duality instead of a trinity system where we sit in the neutrality of the middle between the masculine and feminine. We are both yet neither. And we sit in the harmony of that balance. And through that balance, we live in Wu Wei, effortless action. We flow through our reality because we are not fighting our pattern. There's a pattern to the way we flow through all space-time, which is a continuum coming from within you, spreading out in all time, spaces, and places, in all space, places, and times. And we can manipulate that through thought, called quantum jumping, quantum leaping. You can manipulate that through intent, energy, and thought. You project yourself into your reality. How many times have you thought of somebody and then they call or they knock on the door, or you see them on the bus or somewhere else? You manifested that because you were thinking about it. That's why it's dangerous to think, because you manifest what you think. That's why we live in the space of no thought. Live in internal silence. Even when we are talking, we are not thinking right now. We are flowing through our reality and saying what comes out. What is in the intent stream of our heart comes out when we speak authentically. There are some people that cannot handle that because your authenticity challenges their fakeness. It's not your fault. You're not too big. You don't have to make yourself small for the little people. Just have compassion on them, recognize where they're at. We're not better or anything else. We're just vibing higher and seeing a higher reality. We are seeing a whole reality instead of survival mode of it's me, 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 fuck you, get away from me. I grew up in that. I know that very well. I know violence very well. I was schooled in it from a very young age. It's a necessary thing in this reality, unfortunately. But it is a last resort. We've been programmed to be reactionary. Instead of waiting, looking, seeing, playing dumb, letting people think that you don't know, we know. We always know. We've never not known. It's one of the hardest things. Everywhere we go, we feel everything. There's a lot of people that claim to be empaths. Everybody's empathic to a certain point because we are one. You naturally are going to feel the collective energies. That's why they breed fear through media and freaking all this other systems of control, is to keep the feed of fear going that they can feed on. Because these lower vibrational energies, that's what they do. They feed on fear. They feed on freaking separation, division, hatred. And that's how the sickness grows, is by living in that. Instead of just letting shit go, forgiving, realizing that nothing anybody does to us is a personal thing. It's about what's going on inside them that they're projecting onto our reality. And we start seeing that in ourselves and realizing how much we're projecting into other people's realities. Then we start to slow down a little bit. We start to remember to be the observer. Feel what you're feeling, but don't respond to it. Let thoughts go through your mind if they're going to do so, but don't attach to them. See them, let them go. Remember that you are the watcher. You are not the thinker. True higher thinking comes from what science calls the brain-heart coherence, which is actually not really true. There's actually 3 brains in the human body. There's the gut brain, which is the master of intuition. There's the heart brain, which is the master of compassion and love, the divine feminine. Your gut brain is your divine child. Your heart brain is the divine mother. And the brain, the analytical, logical, matrixy freaking thing is the divine father, which in the shadow is the tyrant. And that's what a lot of men have been programmed to do, is be the tyrant. A lot of women have been programmed to deny their feminine, and so they're in their shadow feminine, so they're capricious bitches. And so when we recognize our shadows and what we've been programmed, and we look and we realize, just like a little kid sitting in the dark, if he has fear, that coat in the corner is now a creepy man staring at him. It's not what reality is, but that's his reality, because that's what his fear has made his reality. If he had the truth within him, if he had internal light, wisdom, the Sophia in him, then they would realize that even in the dark, that's still just a coat in the corner. And that's what everybody's been programmed, is to believe in this illusion of the shadow, that where the spooky things hide. That's why people want to fucking get rid of pit bulls. You know, it's like, okay, what's next? You know, you want to get rid of fucking the sharks in the fucking ocean and everything else that's dangerous? Nature's supposed to be dangerous. It's part of who we are. When we own that, we control it. We don't let it control us. And we're kind, we're compassionate. And those people that come up that want to be dangerous, they get a whole new side of us. All right, y'all, have a good one.